Hey there, this is Gina from Hippie Happy Homeschooler. Hopping on here today. It has been a really busy week for me, and so I have not gotten a chance to hop on and make a video, and I was gonna do one tomorrow, but then I thought about it and I'm like, tomorrow's gonna be crazy too. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna hop on while I am cooking, makeupless in my husband's old work shirt. And I'm just going to go over a few things that I wanted to share for today. We are part of what's called a living library here in Florida. And if you're Charlotte Mason enthusiast, if you are following the Charlotte Mason method, you're very familiar with the Charlotte Mason method of using living books. A living book is a book that has what we would call living ideas. They're not dry facts. It's not just dates and definitions and dry information. It's actually something that really connects with you and causes you to connect with the content in a way that makes you feel like you have a relationship with the things that you're learning about. So whether it's historical or it's scientific or it's literature, it is going to be something that is a living idea that is going to make you feel like you have this connection with the material other than just information, if that makes sense. So one of the things that we do, because we have the fortunate privilege of having a living library here in Florida, is we're members of this library, but you can go online and you can research where there are living libraries near you. I would highly recommend it because you're not going to find the amount of living books in a public library. You're just not. A lot of these books are older books, but it's not just about the fact that they're older. Just because a book is old, it doesn't necessarily automatically make it a good book. So it has to have a narrative quality to it. It engages the reader. It causes them to desire to learn more about the content that they're learning about. So anyways, that is just a quick description, very oversimplified. Sorry, I'm cooking as I'm talking to you. But that's an oversimplified version of what a living book is. So for today, what I'm going to share is the books that we're using this quarter. We're actually wrapping it up this week. We did a big deep dive into the French Revolution, and the books that we got for this are fantastic. I highly, highly recommend. I only found a handful of websites where homeschoolers shared the different books that they used to study the French Revolution. And so I was so grateful when we got these from our library. So I'm going to share those with you today, as well as a couple of other books that we're reading that have to do with the other subjects that we're studying in our morning time and in our individual time. And I just hope that it sparks something in you. If you haven't already started using living books, that you would be able to start researching it. If you haven't, like I said, already started using them. If it's a book that matches something that you're currently studying, even if you don't have a living learning library like we do, you can go online and you can probably find a paperback reprint of it, at Thrift Books or Amazon or Good Books. I think it's called goodbooks.com. There's lots of ways to get your hands on living books. It doesn't just have to be at a living library. But I do want to share so that for those of you who haven't been exposed to them, you can do this and use these books in your homeschool, and you will see the difference. I challenge you to take a modern book, or even a book from the 80s that's just dry facts. I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but think back to your textbook days in school. Read one of those books, read a chapter out of it, and then read a living book and see how much you remember, see how much your kids remember. The difference is huge. So I'm going to go ahead and share those books, and then I'm also just going to give you a quick sneak peek of what I'm making for dinner tonight. All right. Okay, so here is my pile for the French Revolution. I'm going to start here first because this is a book that I actually printed out. I'm going to do a video on this place very soon, probably in the next week, but there's a website called Well-Educated Heart Libraries of Hope. I think if you just go under librariesofhope.com, that's the new web address, but you can also go to Well-Educated Heart and it'll transfer you there. But this is the book called The History of France, or The Story of France, I believe. And this website is so incredible that they allow you to download any book you want off your site, off the website for free. It's public domain. And just download it to your computer, and you can either read the book from your computer or you can print it and bind it. So this one is The Story of France. I have been using it since we started school this year, and it's taking us all the way from, the Gauls and Rome and all of the different barbarians from that time period, and all the way up until I think somewhere in the 1900s. So we've been reading this pretty much every day. It's going to take us into the French Revolution at some point, but it's a slow, gradual build, explaining all of the different kings through the ancient to modern times. So that has been wonderful because it's just familiarizing the kids with the entire history of France. So that has been wonderful. Over here, okay, I'm going to show you my favorites so far. These are from our living library. So the first one is called The Song in the Streets. It's a history of the French Revolution through the eyes of a family that is living through the French Revolution. And so it comes from the place of people who are hardworking, they're shop owners, their perspective on the monarchy and the things that were taking place, whether they agreed with the revolution or not. It just kind of takes you on this beautiful narrative story, and it really acquaints you with their perspective. So good. I cannot say enough good about it. My kids really love this. The second one is Madame Royal. It's the account of the French Revolution taken from the journal of Marie Antoinette's daughter. And she really just takes you through the entire thing of everything that they went through from their perspective. And, it really, history is one of those things that it depends on who it's the eyes through, what the perspective is going to be, So you do have some sympathy for the family, for what they went through, and for the people and what they were feeling during that time period. It's not an easy, clear cut, like this is the right way to do it or this is the wrong way to do it. It's an interesting perspective going from both places. This one doesn't belong in this pile. This is one of my books. This is Winston Churchill, Painting as a Pastime. Tiny little book, excellent little book. I ordered that on Amazon, or maybe it was eBay. The next one is The King's Day. It's a different King Louis, but nonetheless, we just included a lot of different books centered around France when we were doing this study, not just because of studying the French Revolution, but just studying France in general. So this was just a, nice book. We've got the Marquis de Lafayette. So that's a living book, narrative style, takes you through his journey. This was just another book that I found that I thought would be nice to read. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Surat at Le Grand Jeté. I think it's about a painting, so we haven't gotten into that one yet. Then there's this one. Edmund Burke, Reflections on the French Revolution. This would be for, I believe, an older, this is more like a junior, senior. This one I love. This is great for like elementary, middle school years. History highlights the French Revolution. It takes you through each major event that happened in the French Revolution, the March on Versailles, the storming of the Bastille, the flight to Varennes, the Revolutionary Parliament, like all of the different aspects that took place during the French Revolution. And I think there's a timeline in the back, rise of Napoleon, dates, charts, all those kinds of things. But again, it's not dry facts. It's a really interesting book. It's great. It's very well done, and the pictures are beautiful. So there's that one. This one is just another book, Our Friends in France. Again, another The Lost Prince, just another book centered around a prince. Marie Antoinette. This is her story. Moy and Marie Antoinette. This is a cute little picture book about Marie Antoinette and her daughter and the dog that she grew up with. It was just so sweet, such a sweet little book. Excellent for elementary. These books I've talked about, I think, before, but the French twins, these just kind of center around following a group of children from a different country. So they have the French twins, they have the Scotch twins, the Spartan twins, the Swiss twins. It follows children's lives, how it would have looked during a certain time period. And so this one was just the French version, and I picked that one up from the library, and we're going to get into that one soon. Also, obviously, Tale of Two Cities. We listened to this on Audible, and it was excellent. And then we also did the Charles Dickens, what's it called? The Usborne version, which is kind of the more adapted version. And that was excellent. I also have a book by Jeannie Fritz. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Fritz, Jeannie Fritz, who wrote a story on Lafayette called Why Not Lafayette? And that book has been really great too, to add into this whole pile of books that we have here. So again, like I said, even if you don't have a living library near you, you can always search for living books on any topic that you're studying. And I promise you, your kids will thank you for it. They will be so blessed. Okay, I'm going to take a second to kind of clean this up, and then I'm going to bring out a few more that we've been looking at this quarter. Okay, so just a few more books that we've been going through from our Living Learning Library. This one is Claude Monet, The Painter Who Stopped the Trains. Very sweet story, very interesting about him. And we are doing the Simply Charlotte Mason portfolio, which includes about 7 or 8 prints of his artwork and then a biography. And so I like to add in additional short stories as we're studying a painter, and just to sort of bring them to life a little more and make us familiarized with their life and their history. So this was a really sweet read. Another one I picked up, Queen of Physics. One of my daughters is doing physics, and it's just a fun book. I like picture books just as much as I like big fat chapter books. 12 Great Western Philosophers. This is just to familiarize my younger one with philosophy before she gets, acquainted with it further in her high school years. She's in middle school now, but I think that it's good to introduce these heavier, meatier topics when they're younger, because then it's not so foreign when they come across it later on. So these are just, what I love about this book is it's just a couple pages about each philosopher and just gives them a background story. So as you can see, it's maybe 3-4 pages per philosopher, but this is a really interesting book. Dan's Angel. This is another book about art and studying the language of the paintings. We've been doing fairy tales this whole year, and I just picked up this picture book because it was gorgeous, and it's just a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. Theodoric's Rainbow, another picture book related to science. And again, it just forms these relationships with your kids. It makes it come alive in a beautiful, different way. The Wonderful World of Energy. Malay Tilled the Soil. This is another beautiful one. I believe it's about the painter Malay. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Yeah, this is. So my 6th grader is reading this one, and it's, you know, it's got lots of beautiful pictures, narrative style. She's really enjoying it. So this was another one from the library. So that's it for the books that I'm going to show you for today. So I just browned some ground beef, and over here I'm sauteing some onions, yellow bell peppers, and red bell peppers, and there's garlic in there as well. And then in here I'm just roasting some bell peppers. I'm gonna stuff them with the ground beef, pepper, onion mixture, and also some rice. I'm gonna mix that in. I'm gonna add in a little bit of this Pomodoro Italian tomatoes. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, just a little bit of it, a little bit of tomato paste, some chicken stock, and I'm also going to use the bouillon. Let's see if I can find it. This one, the Better Than bouillon. I don't know if you guys use this, but it is one of my favorite things to use in cooking. I use the beef one whenever I make beef. There's a roasted chicken one that I use sometimes. And I use them when I make rice. I will put a scoop of the chicken one in the rice cooker with a little bit of olive oil and some water, and it just enhances the flavor like incredibly. So but anyways, that's what's for dinner tonight. I'll try to show you the finished product if I remember to take a picture or a quick video before we stuff it in our bellies. But I'm gonna top it all with some cheese and bake it off in the oven, and it should be pretty good. All right, they're cooking. I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Here is the finished product, just came out of the oven. So I actually did something a little different this time. Instead of filling it with the beef and the rice, I just filled it with the beef, pepper, tomato, onion mixture. And I'm gonna put the rice on the side so that it feels like a little bit more of a substantial meal. So that is it. Looks good, huh?
Yeah, it looks so good.
All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Living Books as well as my stuffed pepper recipe. If you have questions or suggestions or ideas, please feel free to comment below, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if this is something that you enjoyed and something that benefited you in some way or encouraged you. I do plan on doing more videos coming up of the different subjects that we're studying and the books that we're using to study them deeper. We're going into World War I and World War II, and I will be doing videos about those topics as well as all of the different books that we found through Living Learning Library. And I'm gonna link as many books as I listed as I can find that are either on Amazon or eBay or thrift books, so that you can find these books if there's any interest in them. And if you don't have a Living Learning Library next to you, you can always go online and order like the paperback. So, and some of these books are on public domain on Ambleside Online. You can also check there. And like I said, Well Educated Heart is incredible for a resource in regards to downloading books. So I'm going to be doing a video on them very, very soon. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful day.